1, 2. The numbers quit. Oh, okay, I'm live now. There we go. Hey guys, how's it going? I just got done with a Bible study with my students just a minute ago. Great time, of course. Of course, we're hearing all sorts of summer plans and home improvement projects we're all doing. So, y'all be safe. Coronavirus is apparently still around, so travel safely, bring your mask and all that good stuff. Guys, July 1st, we are going to be at the church, so just remember, if you can make it at 4 o'clock, on my social media, I even have a video about it, about the guidelines we need to watch over. So I like doing this right after the Bible study because sometimes the kids say some pretty funny things. One of my students says, "Don't lick any doorknobs." Okay, so just keep that in mind. Y'all stay safe, wear a mask, don't touch your face, and don't lick doorknobs. All right, there we go. So this week we're in Proverbs chapter 2, and Proverbs chapter 2 verses 1 through 10. So I'm going to read you the first 4 verses of Proverbs chapter 2. "My son, if you accept my words," and this is King Solomon. Now just keep in mind, if I say Samson by accident, I'm sorry, that's just my brain, it's just a mistake. So if I say Samson during this video, I mean Solomon. Okay, so King Solomon wrote this. And this is King Solomon when he says my words. This is King Solomon. "My son, if you accept my words and store up my commandments within you, listen closely to wisdom and direct your heart to understanding. Furthermore, if you call out to insight and lift your voice to understanding, if you seek it being wisdom, by the way, like silver, and search for it like a hidden treasure." Those first 3 verses, I went on ahead and read the first 4 verses. The first 3 verses kind of discuss the idea of accepting Solomon's word, or as I'm going to say, a mentor's word, someone who disciples you. Accept their word. Store up his commandments. Listen closely. Direct your heart to understanding. Call out for insight. Insight, just knowledge of, kind of a personal knowledge. That's the best way to describe it if you don't know what that is. Call out to insight. Lift your voices to understanding. King Solomon is saying, hey, I need to teach you. I need to do this. You need to listen to my words, my commandments. I know what I'm doing here. I know I have 110 wives, but I really know what I'm talking about here. King Solomon knows about wisdom, and he was a good source of it back in the Old Testament. And he asked that you direct your heart and stuff. Verse 4 is one of my favorite verses, too, because verse 4, if you seek it like silver, and again, we're talking about wisdom, if you seek it like silver and search for it like a hidden treasure. So think about that. Everybody has the concept. A lot of people, especially when they get older, understand the concept of money. And when they get older, the knowledge of the concept of money gets better. So he's putting wisdom on par with money, and money is important. In fact, he goes up and he says silver and hidden treasure. Riches. Seek it out like it's a treasure, like it's something precious. And one of the things I asked my students was, what is precious to y'all? And of course, kids, I love them. Their video games. One of them said one of their books, Magnet or something. I forgot what it was called. But anyway, I showed them a brick. And they're like, a brick? Well, it was a brick to a house I grew up in. So it was very precious. It is very precious to me right now. For us married people, I got my marriage certificate hanging up on the wall in our living room. My $5 wedding band is very precious to me. Yes, $5, and I'm not going to get another one because that's all I need. It doesn't turn my finger green, so I'm okay. So these things are precious, and if we seek out wisdom, like something as precious as that, as precious as silver, as precious as something that has value, Wisdom has value. Verses 5. Actually, it should be verse 5, not verses. Verses is plural, so that means more than one verse. But anyway, I'm going on a rabbit trail there. Then you will understand the fear of the Lord and discover the knowledge of God. So after you listen to your mentor or the person that disciples you or teaching the Bible or teaching wisdom or teaching you the Word, and you seek it out like a treasure, like a jewel, like silver, you have the understanding of the fear and of the Lord. And fear of the Lord is not being so scared of him, like, he's a ghost that's going to haunt you or something. No, fear of the Lord is, kind of like don't want to disappoint them and won't make them happy. And discover the knowledge of God. Now, here's a question I did pose to my students. Even the smartest seminary, Bible, college graduate in the world, or the biggest evangelist, for a lot of older people, Billy Graham, Andy Stanley is one of them. There's one that lives in Virginia. I forgot his name, but anyway, they all have knowledge, and they all have a wealth of knowledge about the gospel, a wealth of knowledge about the Bible, a wealth of knowledge about theology, a wealth of knowledge. But they don't know everything neither. They don't know everything. So seeking wisdom and knowledge about God is almost as an ongoing thing. All the way up to when you get to heaven, you actually get to ask God all these questions. Why? What? What does this mean? What? I don't Why did I have to do this? Why did this have to happen? There you have understanding, though. You have understand. So it's almost an ongoing thing, seeking knowledge and wisdom. For verses 6 and 7, for the Lord gives wisdom from his mouth. Let me repeat that. For verse 6, 7, and 8. For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He stores up success for the upright. He is a shield for those who live with integrity, so that we may guard the path of justice, and protect the ways of his loyal followers. Okay, now this is shifted now. If you're one of my students, I always teach you about how words like him and he is capitalized in most versions of the Bible, and that represents God or Jesus or something to do with the Trinity. So in my version, those words are capitalized. So now we're not talking about in the first 4 verses when he's talking about me and my and all. He's talking about himself, Solomon. Now we're talking about this is what the Lord gives you. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He stores up success. He shields people with integrity. He guards paths of justice. Protect his loyal followers. Now, something to be said about the idea of protecting his loyal followers and shields and stuff like that. Just think about this. I always like to say there's other people that's got it worse than you. And that's always the case. So I saw this little meme, and it was a guy getting on public transportation saying, "Man, I wish I had a car." And then there's the guy looking at the same guy on public transportation in a wheelchair. "Man, I wish I had legs." So we know that you've always got it worse. Sometimes God protects you, sometimes you don't see it. But sometimes he does protect you, and we just don't see the way he protects us. So that, with that being said, here is verses 9 and 10. And 10 is like that verse. If we had to put a title on this, like most preachers would like to, or preachers will say, if you don't get anything out of this lesson today, here's what you need to know. So let's read verse 9 first. Then you will understand righteousness, justice, and integrity, every good path. Verse 10. For wisdom will enter your mind, and knowledge will delight your heart. So, we've already talked about gaining wisdom for somebody else, gaining wisdom for someone who is wiser. And this is what King Solomon was talking about the first 3 verses. Verse 4 it talks about seek it out like treasure, like silver. And then you get to know God. And that's what it's written in verse 5. Then he will protect you. Now verse 10 talks about you would enjoy it. You would enjoy learning more about it. Guys, if you're a football coach, you usually like football. If you enjoy math class is not a problem for you. But if you seek God out and you seek wisdom and knowledge of God in such a way where it's like you're looking for silver, you're looking for a treasure, then you will get to know God on a deeper level. You'll get his protection, and then you will love it when his wisdom enters your mind and when you gain more knowledge. Because as we said, not even the most educated person, when it comes to theology or really knows the Bible front and back, even they don't know everything. But the idea is you will delight, you will be happy to keep learning all the way up into your days that you're no longer on the earth. So, with that being said, I kind of want to sum it up in about 4 points here. Verses 1 through 4. This is kind of what I took away from these verses. Listen to that trusted believer. Listen to that trusted Christian friend. And now keep in mind the key word in there. Trusted. Right? You need to know who you can trust. Because when you have that friend, that Christian buddy and friend that you have that you know you can trust, you can tell secrets to. You can confess when you screwed up, sin-wise or anything like that. And he won't make you a public display. Listen to a trusted believer, because usually they have a little more wisdom than you do. I do it all the time. Every time I'm in a different situation in my ministry, I know one guy I think of all the time. If I need to call him, he'll answer, and if he can't answer, he usually gets back to me in a timely manner. So find that one guy, one person you trust, to kind of mentor you, disciple you in what we say in our Christian walks. And then after that, you get to know God more. And that's important too. That person will help you get to know God more. And that's what we're supposed to do as Christians, as people who disciple. We're supposed to know who God knows. We're supposed to try to know God as much as we can. And then wisdom will be granted to you, and also protection. So all of a sudden, you become that guy. That, wow, okay, well, I know a little, I take some of these biblical training classes that's free online, and I listen to it, and sometimes it's really cool to talk to the students, and I interject something really smart and make me sound smart. One of my students didn't even think I went to college. Like, yeah, it took me 10 years, but I graduated. So listen to wisdom and grant. And then finally, verse 10, you will start enjoying knowledge. You will love knowledge. You will love to learn about God more and more. And then you can repeat the process with someone else. It's called discipleship, guys. It's called discipleship. So listen to that trusted believer so you get to know God more. So wisdom and protection can be granted towards you. And understand, then you'll understand and love the word, and then you can just pass it on and just keep going. Alright, guys? Hey, thank y'all for spending your time listening to me. This video is going to be up on YouTube probably by Sunday. Because I got dinner being cooked for me right now by my lovely wife. By the way, next month I've been married for a year, so thank you, Ashley, for keeping me and not kicking me out of the house. I love her more. All right, guys. Y'all take care. Y'all have a good time. And y'all will... I'll see y'all next week. Later.